it's just something. It just doesn't make any sense.
I agree.
Do you really?
Yeah, sometimes.
Oh no. Oh, hey, what's going on out there? You know who it is. It's Zeus Cruz of Olympian Multimedia, giving you a special segment here, right here in downtown New Brunswick, of A Word with the World. Oh, thank you, young man. There are nice people in the world. Today's segment, being as special as it is, we have the proud author of the book, Mommy Doesn't Look Sick. Get a gander of that. So please welcome to my immediate right, author, Jae Logan. How are you doing today, Miss Logan?
I'm doing well. It's amazing weather for October.
It is amazing. I feel a little overdressed, but you know,
You look it.
Man, talk about really put somebody out there. I'm feeling it, but you know, I'm gonna endure it.
Yes. Okay.
But in this segment, first off, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you sitting down with a fellow author. We're gonna have this conversation, kind of get into your mind, allow the viewers get in your mind a little bit, the process of going about with your craft of being an author.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me. And I apologize to your viewers because the mind of an author is a dark, scary place, even when you write children's books.
What? Never mind that, guys. Never mind what she just said. Don't get scared off. I know it's Halloween time.
Just stick around. You'll
relax. We're good to go.
Getting into my craft, I've always had an insane imagination, and just as a child, I would write stories that would completely freak out my teachers or really impress them. So it depended on if I went dark or if I was just happy, and I just loved it. But the thought of being an actual author always just the anxiety and the stress that it caused was unbelievable, because people would actually have to read that and then they would judge you, and you know, that's very difficult for an author. So I've been writing forever, but this is when I was brave enough to hit the publish button.
Sounds good. I mean, that's pretty much the biggest thing with any creator of any genre is the court of public opinion. So they might have an idea in place, they got an outline, they're ready to go to work, put together their craft, in this case a book, but then at the last second it's like, I don't know how people's going to take this, so maybe I need to rethink what I'm doing here, right?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. It's the judginess that could happen. It doesn't always happen. I've heard nothing but wonderful things about my book, but you don't know that that's what you're going to hear until you hear it, and that's where the stress comes.
Yeah, totally agree. So myself and the audience always find it fascinating how an artist develops their. Could you explain to the viewers your creative process as far as how you go about putting together your manuscript?
So I try to lock the family out of my office because interruptions are detrimental to the process. I have put my phone down and closed all browsers because the internet is just a dark hole that you get lost in. Research, you end up spending 5 hours watching videos. So I try to close all of that off and then sing very loudly while I write, while I think of things. And some people say I could sing, and I don't think I can, but it does help me. It helps me focus and, you know, get into the writing groove. And then once I'm in it, and that's why the door is locked. The second someone asks me anything, I've lost it all. I come back another day and try again.
Usually my method is just throwing something. Somebody comes in the room, I just throw something at them. Hopefully they get the memo. But I like your idea a little bit better. I might have to use that myself.
It's safer, just get a lock.
I know I can't sing, but you know, whatever. Anywho, let's get to the meat and potatoes here. Now let's discuss again this beautiful book. I have to say I was very impressed with the book, the illustrations, just the flow, fluency within the book, the message that it gives. It speaks on a topic that many are not familiar with, and that's invisible villains. So could you explain to the viewers what that entails as the physical and emotional aspects of the symptoms?
Absolutely. So I think a lot of people are aware of what an invisible illness is. So many of us suffer with them, but this is about making the conversation okay and about bringing your children in to support you during the process. The book is essentially a love note to my family because I was diagnosed with an invisible illness. And when I was first diagnosed, they didn't think I was going to make it. You know, they told my husband in the emergency room, bring the kids in, and because that might be it. And it's very tough to hear that. I'm sure as a parent, as a human, but as a mom, I felt like it's my job to give them advice all the way through. They have children and they get married and like everything, right? And to know that there was a chance that I couldn't do that was heartbreaking. And so what I did, what I thought any mom could do, was just barrage a 4-year-old and a 9-year-old with amazing life advice and make them promise to love each other. And so my husband make sure he keeps my family. You know, it was just important to me that if this was it for me, that I still lived on through their actions, through my family. And so this is that thank you to them, to let them know that I saw what they did. I made them a part of my book because without them, I wouldn't, you know, not that I would have just instantly killed over, but their support has gotten me to such a good place where I recently went to the doctors, and I love doctors. They said, wow, you're doing really well for somebody who has had this for 9 years. And I just looked at the doctor and said, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to be doing well. So, you know, you never know what happens, but and I know it's the love and the support of my family that got me where I am today, and it's kept me as healthy as I am. And so I see that and I feel that. And I want other people suffering with invisible illnesses to know that it's okay to tell people it's okay to have a conversation with your children and to let them know that you don't have to be an adult to support me. In the beginning, it was something as simple as, I can't go trick-or-treating with you, and that's heartbreaking to me. But when you come back, can we sit down and just, you tell me every single thing, the funniest house you went to, the scariest house, the best candy, who you're going to egg next year, you know, all of these wonderful stories. And they did that for me, and they would cuddle with me. And my son, on days where I was really ill, would bring me drinks and soup and make sure that I was, even though I was in the bedroom, that I was okay and I was doing well. And this has continued their life. My daughter is now 13, my son is 18. And it's part of who they are now, and it's something that they live with. It's not just I who have the diagnosis, it's my family that lives with it every day. And that's what I appreciate about them. And I want other parents and other people, grandparents, uncles, aunts, friends, to have those conversations with the kids in their lives that they care about.
I think the beautiful thing here too is just the act of transparency. You know, it takes a lot of courage to come out and speak to that. I think that's another thing too, going back to what we were saying in the beginning about people trying to get over the hump. So I think sometimes they don't realize how much they might have to offer to somebody else because their story actually resonate with them, and they can actually gain some appreciation, maybe some enlightenment from it. But because of the court of public opinion, it holds them back. So I just know with me personally, with my writings, I try to be as transparent as possible. I'm like an open book. I'm always the type that you don't want the answer, don't ask the question. So I kind of have that kind of mentality when I go ahead and write. And it sounds like to me you do as well.
Yeah, I absolutely do. Everything I put on the page comes from my heart. And just looking at my projects that I have coming up, I really do. I rip open my heart and I put it on the table. And whenever you go to a vendor event and you're sitting there with the table in front of you and you're trying to sell your book and people are like, that's a really good idea. And then they walk by without buying it. It's like, they just totally, you know, dissed me. They, you know, they looked at me and they just said, no, thank you to my heart. And that's stressful, but it's the price I pay for going down this journey. There are going to be people that stop and that buy the book and that it means something to. And there have been people who have, you know, adults who don't even have small children who have purchased my book, read the book, called me crying, saying that they felt seen as a human, that it was something that they battled with, and they love the book because it helped them heal. And that's what I want. I want people who have invisible illnesses to read it and heal through my journey. I want the children to read it and see that they can help and the people that they love. And that's what you do. You just put your heart out there and you don't get rejected.
Pretty much. Sometimes it can be a lonely road when it comes to the author. But I think that's the beauty of it. Obviously, you write because you have a passion for it, you love it. But it's just that little cherry on top, and somebody actually appreciates your work, and it actually benefits them in some type of way. You definitely get enjoyment out of it. Then now you're looking at it like, I see why.
Yes, yes. And I have to tell you, and I swear I'm not brown nosing to you or your audience, but I felt that way when I received your email. And I said, wow, my story touched you so much that he reached out to me after the event that we were at, and that meant a lot to me. And I was very excited.
Hey, I knew right off the rip after I read this book, I had to get her on the show. Had to. It's just a great book, and it's just to be honest, this is not something I'm familiar with. But just the fact, like I said, you were willing to put your story out there, and being that I'm part of the family as well, that also resonated with me as well. So I just think you have a beautiful message in there, and I'm glad that you got over the hump and was willing to put that out there for everyone.
Thank you.
So let's keep on with this whole theme we got going on here. I love how you pulled from personal experience and wrote in such a unique way where people could resonate with. So how important was it for you to share the message in your book with others? And kind of touch base with it a little bit, but how has individuals responded to that?
Super important for me that other people read it and get the message and benefit from the message, because it can be lonely to have an invisible illness. I just hit the button last year. I've been living with this for 9 years. So there was a long time in between where I felt like there wasn't enough support for the children. And so I just decided to move forward with life the way I felt it should be with my children, and just be that honest. And I see people are always talking behind closed doors and whispering behind the children, thinking that they don't understand. Kids are so smart. It doesn't matter how old they are. They know something's happening. They get that something's going on in the family, and not knowing what that is can cause fear, anxiety, stress for children. But bringing them in and having that conversation with them and making them feel comfortable and helping them understand that they are important enough to be helpful in these situations, it's a game changer for them.
Yes, very good. Especially the part you were just saying about you can't hide nothing from your kids. So they definitely can read between the lines, so to speak, and see what's going on without actually really knowing all the details. So instead of just trying to hide everything, they're family.
Yep.
Better to convey your feelings or your sentiments, your thoughts on things that other than your family, especially your immediate family.
Absolutely.
So we're going to get a little bit more personal. I want you to kind of speak more to the viewers here.
Okay.
What advice would you give for those individuals who are going through the same predicament, and for those who are trying to make their aspirations into reality?
The same predicament as invisible illnesses?
Yes.
Okay. So I would say to you, be brave, do research. It is important to speak to your doctors. It is also important to get second opinions, to go to various doctors to find the person that is a specialist in your area of illness and work with them. It wasn't easy for us to find that because I have such a rare liver disease that it took homework. It took a lot of homework. And even then, when we find that specialist, they're still learning, because when it's a rare illness, and for me, unfortunately, it's a rare illness where doctors have come to me and said, well, I had to YouTube what you have, or I had to Google your illness. That's horrifying. So you have to be your own advocate, and you have to make sure that you know about your illness as much or if not more than they do. And you want to find the doctor that can help you in that journey and take you with them, instead of just throwing saying, do that, or you just need the surgery. Do your homework. Take care of yourself, and don't let anything limit you. I didn't let this limit me. When I went back to work the first time after I was diagnosed, and now I'm on massive blood thinners because I have rare liver disease and blood disorders, I was talking to senior management, and I was informing him that I'm back, I'm ready, I'm here full force. And while I'm speaking to him, I cut myself on a manila envelope, and now I'm just ridiculous amounts of blood are pouring out of my hand while I'm trying to keep it together and have this conversation with him. But I did. I held all the blood in the palm of my hand while I finished the conversation, and then ran, cleaned up, bandaged up, and don't let anything stop you. I did.
That's beautiful. And I mean, this is real life right here. You know, some people kind of can read between the lines again. See, maybe it's like a little far fetched with what they're saying, just to get some type of reaction out of people. But here, I can feel it out of you. You know, you're going through something. You took it upon yourself to not let it become a hindrance or obstacle for you. You overcame it. And then in turn, instead of just leaving it as that, because that's a victory within itself, you overcoming it, but you took the initiative and went ahead and put it into a book for people to share. Because obviously there's other people out here that's going through it as well. So you definitely took a positive out of a negative, for sure.
Thank you.
So we're at the tail end of this interview. So I'm pretty sure the viewers would like to know, what is new on the horizon for Miss Jae Logan?
I do have a children's book, another children's book coming out, a holiday book. It's called Holiday Cookies, and it is about a wonderful family who makes cookies for their neighbors, and in the process of dropping off these delicious treats, there will be a recipe in the book, they learn about the different backgrounds of their neighbors. So they get to learn about Hanukkah and Diwali, and they get to learn about Bodhi Day. They get to understand the difference between an Italian Christmas and a Puerto Rican Christmas. So I want them to learn about their areas, and I think that's the best way to do it. I did when I was in the 3rd grade. I learned the dreidel song, and I still sing it every year because it stuck with me that much.
Well, I'm already hooked. It says it's got a recipe in there, and you know Zeus loves to eat. So I'm already on board with that. And when the book comes out, definitely need you back.
I will gladly come back on, and I will bring you cookies from the book.
Awesome. And you know I'm gonna gobble them up while we're doing it. You know, I ain't gonna have crumbs all over the place or whatnot. It would be kind of. I see you over there behind that camera. It's okay.
I'll bring extra.
Anywho, it ain't about them. It's about us. You know. Yeah, I said it. Anywho, Miss Jae Logan, I just want to say I appreciate the bottom of my heart that you took some time out of your schedule to meet out with me, have this beautiful conversation. I'm definitely, the viewers are going to resonate with what you're saying. You're definitely an inspiration, for sure. I just love the fact, like I said, you took a positive out of a negative. And even if you can't resonate totally with her story, guys, you can at least, like I said, get the motivation that somebody did not allow an obstacle to overtake their lives. She had the beautiful support of her family. It's a beautiful thing just to see this in action. Again.
And I'm sorry, but the pictures in the book are of my actual family.
Beautiful. So let's get a quick gander of them. I mean, these are beautiful illustrations. Very colorful.
By Deborah Bender.
Shout out to Miss Bender. Let's get a couple more right here. So you want to tell the viewers where they can purchase this book?
It's on Amazon. So you can purchase it as a soft cover from Amazon, or you can download it on your Kindle. I would only recommend to anybody that decides to download it on Kindle, and not just for me, but for any indie author, to, as the second you download it, flip through all the pages, because that's how the indie authors get paid.
Do yourself a favor. As soon as you're done watching the video, do yourself a favor, just buy it. Don't hesitate. Just go ahead and click on checkout and go ahead and purchase this book. You're not going to be disappointed. This is a great book. And we look forward to more books in the future.
Thank you. And thank you for purchasing the book.
So again, this is a beautiful interview. This is Miss Jae Logan. Appreciate her being on the show. Appreciate you guys tuning in. You know who it is. It's Zeus Cruz of Olympian Multimedia. And I guess there's what left to say is check you later. So you know what, man?